This is the biggest price rise in 5 years. It'll be 3.6% from next year. That's been brought about by the rise in inflation as measured by the Retail Price Index. It has some people concerned because train fares in this country are already quite high, 6 times higher than you could expect to pay in equivalent circumstances in other parts of Europe. The government says the fare rises are justified because so much money is being poured back into the system. It's part of a big infrastructure building project throughout the rail network. Some commuters, however, say they're not seeing value for money.
At the moment, I don't think they're justified. I think there's a lot of hard work that needs to be done on the service quality before they increase the fares.
Well, it still seems to be funded by the taxpayer, all the upgrades to the rail network anyhow, so it doesn't seem to be paying off in the long term.
I already start getting the coach to places now, which is a lot longer, but it's cheaper.
Now, these fare rises only apply to regulated fares. They're ones that will apply to season tickets, off-peak, or areas where the train is really the only way to get around. There's also a whole swathe of unregulated fares, which is up to the train companies themselves to decide how much they'll put it up by. And we'll find that out later this year.
For more on this, I'm joined by Professor Patrick Minford. He's Professor of Economics at Cardiff University. Professor, great to have you with us and great to be speaking to someone from my alma mater as well. Professor, look, the European Commission still doesn't even want to talk about a trade arrangement with the UK, evidently. Chief Brexit negotiator Michel Barnier has said several times that so-called frictionless trade outside the customs union and the single market is not possible. Scotland's First Minister has called this latest proposal daft. Isn't it time that the government stops wasting time and just says, right, we're going to pay this Brexit bill or we're going to agree to this Brexit bill and then move on?
Well, I don't think so, because actually the best bet from our point of view is to actually leave the EU and not make a trade deal. The trade deals that are being talked about are actually bad for us. What we want is free trade with the whole world, and that we want as soon as possible by signing free trade agreements with countries like the US, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea, countries that can supply us with the goods that are at world prices much better value than the goods we buy from the EU at grossly inflated prices because they're so protectionist. And actually, there's a lot of nonsense being talked about this soft Brexit. We're better off with a proper exit where we go to free trade and make free trade deals with the rest of the world. That brings down our prices and expands our economy through better competition.
But in the meantime, the markets don't seem to agree with that. I mean, we can see from the value of the pound since the Brexit vote that, you know, it's pushed up inflation so much, it's putting a squeeze on ordinary people. Surely, I mean, that is at least one very powerful agreement for a softer Brexit.
Certainly not. The whole point about a devaluation is it boosts business profits. Manufacturing and the city and everybody that trades is getting much higher profits now because of the devaluation. And if you make a big change in your trade regime like Brexit, it's very natural to go for a devaluation to help you penetrate new markets and to sell the goods that you're going to make extra due to higher productivity brought along by more competition. So it's all very logical that the pound should go down. And that is actually helping the economy because it's boosting manufacturing, it's boosting services, it's boosting trade generally, and getting rid of our current account deficit, right, boosting exports and replacing consumption.
Indeed. OK, I wish we had more time to talk about this, and we will have more opportunities. Professor Patrick Minford, Cardiff University, thank you so much.